Let's get more on this now with George Khoury. He's Head of Education and Research at CFI Group. Welcome back to the programme, George. Now, it's been quite the week and chip stocks are selling off once again. Is the tech sector losing its so-called safe haven status?
Morning, Taiba, and thank you for having me today. I wouldn't say it's basically losing its safe haven status, because originally the tech sector in general is not considered to be as a safe haven investment. And this is, I think, the contradiction that has been happening for the past 2 years approximately, whereby a lot of investors, and in specific, let's talk about retail investors here as well at the same time, but also institutional investors, they're pooling into the technological sector and AI-infused companies, or companies that are heavily investing into the AI industry as a whole, without looking at the fundamentals to a certain point regarding specific companies. Now, the fact that we have seen some turbulences or some movements and volatility in regards to the major magnificent tech companies in specific is related to the disruptions that we are seeing as well in the MENA region in specific, and the uncertainty in regards to the geopolitical changes that are happening, noting that the impacts are replicating directly on the oil market, which in fact will have a negative impact on these technology related companies, whether from a semiconductor production perspective or data centers construction point of view, so on and so forth. So this uncertainty is probably making the shakeup that we're seeing currently in the tech sector. I wouldn't say it might be long-lived, because as we see it now from a geopolitical point of view, it seems as if we're coming closer to some kind of resolution, probably. Yes, we have been hearing these headlines for the past 3 months and nothing has been happening, but probably we are coming to an end to the disruptions, which might have a positive impact on these stocks on the medium to longer term.
And we're also seeing oil reacting more mildly this time to the developments. Have markets moved past those geopolitical headlines?
At a certain point, I wouldn't say it has moved past these geopolitical headlines, but the impact definitely has changed. Because if we go back to even the geopolitical tensions that we have been seeing since 2021, approximately 2021, with Russia and Ukraine, so on and so forth, with whatever happened after that, the major impact starts in the first 2 to 3 months approximately on the markets. And this is a behavioral, from a behavioral perspective and point of view. We always see the impact happening on the first 2 to 3 months, and then after that the impact starts to decrease gradually. It doesn't mean that we will not see volatility and we will not see further pressure on the oil market. However, the changes in percentage is not going to be similar to what we have been seeing for the past 2 to 3 months approximately, noting that we are gradually potentially coming closer to a resolution. Now, what matters for the oil market in specific is not only the headlines. Now we need to take into consideration the actual negative impact that we will be seeing in the near future. And here I have to highlight in specific here on the supply issues and supply crisis that we will be seeing in the next 6 months up to 1 year approximately, because works of redeveloping the infrastructure of the oil market and the GCC did not even start yet. So we will still see disruptions from one perspective. The US market and the US oil is trying to fill the gap, but also their strategic reserve is depleting extremely fast and they're operating at full capacity. So for how long will they be able to cap this supply crisis? This is the important question, and I believe this is what we need to monitor in the near future to understand the direction and the forecasts in regards to the oil prices.
George Khoury in Dubai, thank you very much for your analysis.
Thank you, Taiba.